We now live in an environment where we cannot live without email. We conduct business and handle personal matters via email. Today, we will tell you how to analyze emails more professionally. That is email header analysis. We believe it will be of help to IT professionals and security personnel, and we will introduce our product which allows even general users to analyze email headers at an expert level without needing separate study. Now, let's look at today's table of contents. Today, we will first understand what email is fundamentally, then examine exactly how emails are transmitted from the point of origin to the point of reception. We will learn how experts analyze emails. Then we will look at the various parts of an email header and the importance of email header analysis. Finally, we will demonstrate how to perform email header analysis. Lastly, let me introduce our product designed to empower even regular users, not only experts, to perform email header analysis. Let's begin. Let's start with our first topic. What exactly is email? Email is a method of exchanging information through messages, traveling through various online channels, and can include not only text messages, but also photo and video data. It passes through various protocols and servers to arrive at the recipient's inbox. Now that we understand what email exactly is, let's look at the various servers or online channels it passes through. First, the sender composes a message through an email client like Outlook or Gmail and sends it through something known as an MTA, or Mail Transfer Agent. This step is performed by maintaining various types of SMTP protocols. The next step involves the transfer of messages between different mail servers, which is done via various SMTP protocols. After going through these steps, the mail arrives at the recipient's mail server, known as an MTA. All these steps are performed through the internet, and the MDA, Mail Delivery Agent, checks whether the email is spam or not. This is done through SPF, known as Sender Policy Framework. If the check fails, the email is classified as spam. Otherwise, the email continues to the recipient's inbox where the recipient can access and view the mail content. Now that we understand how mail is transmitted through various channels and servers, let's look at the components that make up an email. First, there is the email address. This is one of the most important parts of an email. An email address is a unique address used for message delivery. If the email address is incorrect, the message you send will not reach its destination. Then there is the part called the body section. This part contains the actual data that needs to be transmitted over the internet. To understand better, we have encountered various kinds of spam emails. Let's look at how to analyze emails. As the first step, you need to access the email and look at the email header part. The email header is not immediately visible. In each email system, there is a way to check the header. Let's first look at Gmail as an example. Then, you need to click on the More section in the top right corner of the email. From there, click on the Show Original option in the list. Now you can access the email header section of the email, which will be used for analysis further in the video. Next is how to view header information in Outlook, which is the most commonly used tool. Click on the email whose header you want to view, click the File tab, and then click Properties. In the Internet Headers part of Properties, you have the header information we want. Now let's look at what various parts are included during email analysis. First, let's learn about the various basic paths that make up an email header. These include the return path, message ID, MIME version field, received field, and spam status field, and X originating IP. Let's look at them one by one. There are various basic fields that form the email header. This includes the From field, which shows where the email was received from, that is, the sender's email and sender's name. Then there is something known as the Date and Time field, which provides the date and timestamp when the email was received. Then there is the To part, which indicates where the system should send the email, that is, the recipient's email. Finally, there is the Subject field, which shows what the subject related to the email is. Now let's understand what various fields are important during email analysis. The first field we should look at during analysis is the return path. This indicates how the email should be handled if it is bounced back. In other words, this address is different from the sender's address and is specifically for collecting and processing bounced emails. Then there is the received field. This shows that the email has reached its destination, and the email headers are arranged in reverse order. The top shows the last server the mail passed through, and the bottom shows the initial server. Now that we have a clear understanding of the various fields contained in the email header, let's look at why email header analysis is important. The importance of email header analysis includes protection from spam and phishing attacks. Next, let's look at the key indicators for determining phishing. Now, to understand the difference between spam email and legitimate email, let's look at two different fields. The first field is SPF, Sender Policy Framework. Through this field, we can understand how spam emails are identified. You can see the difference here. In a legitimate mail, there is an indication in front showing that it is a legitimate mail. And in front of a spam email, there is a hyphen indicating that it is a spam email. The second field that allows us to identify spam and legitimate emails is DKIM. DKIM identifies emails using different identification keys. If the key of a legitimate email matches the key of the sender's email, it is an authenticated mail. Otherwise, it is considered spam mail. Now that we have a clear understanding of the various fields and what email is and how important a role email header analysis plays, let's look at the corresponding demo. To better understand email header analysis, let's look at a demo. In this demo, we will look at various fields used in email analysis. First, let's look at the example email in the top right corner. You will see the More option, and from there, select the Show Original option. Then a new window will open showing the email header part. Here we see the message ID field that we discussed earlier in the video. This shows a unique combination of numbers and alphabetic data to identify or authenticate the email. Then there is what is known as the created at, which includes the time and date part of the email. SPF is indicated simply as pass, which means that the email we received is somewhat safe. The DKIM signature is used for email authentication. Scrolling down further, let's look at the various fields we discussed here. There is the return path, the receive section, the date section, the to field, the from field, and the subject view. In this format, we cannot precisely identify what other email headers are in the original form. To analyze this, let's look at the various tools available on the internet. For this, select the Copy to Clipboard option and open a new window to search for an email header analysis tool called MX Analyzer. This is a popular email header analysis tool. Select this tool and go to the header analysis part, paste the copied original email form, and select the Analyze Headers option. The analyzed version will look like this. To better understand what exactly spam is, let's look through this. We know that the spam mail itself is not the problem. The problem is with the DKIM authentication. As we already discussed in the video, DKIM authentication is necessary to ensure that the email has not been intercepted while being transmitted through different servers. In the following format, there are the headers delivered to header, return path header, DKIM signature header, and the basic format required for email identification: date, to, from, subject, message ID. This was already discussed earlier in the video. Now that we know how to analyze emails, we can prevent spam emails, phishing, or various types of email attacks that hackers or cybercriminals use to steal data and harm systems. Now that we have grasped how to analyze emails, let's look at an email that was classified as spam by the mail server. I've just walked you through how to read key email header information. While there's certainly a lot to learn in the world, we don't necessarily need to delve into the less visible parts like email headers for every message. Fortunately, there's an extension that analyzes the header information of all your emails for you, without you having to open the headers yourself. It's called Seed, and it focuses on two main aspects of email headers. The first is syntax analysis. Seed examines the various headers we discussed earlier, looking for patterns indicative of phishing and impersonation attempts. For example, it can flag instances where the from header appears to be manipulated to impersonate a company employee, or when the display name has been altered. It will also alert you if SPF authentication results in a soft fail or fail. Beyond these, it scrutinizes for over 20 other header manipulation patterns. The second is history analysis. This involves analyzing the header information of your past email communications with a specific sender to build a behavioral pattern. When a new email arrives, Seed compares it against this established pattern to assess its legitimacy. For instance, the Received field provides insight into an email's routing path. If emails from a sender previously passed through, say, 8 hops, but a recent email only shows 3 hops, it suggests the email might originate from a different server than usual. Similarly, the X-originating information can give an approximate sender location. If this location, particularly the country, has changed significantly, it raises a red flag for potential impersonation, and Seed will inform you of this. So, we've learned about email headers, and I've explained how our product leverages this header information. For more in-depth details, please feel free to visit our website.